Hey guys, and welcome back to ScarletSprites. I thought I'd do a quick follow-up today on the Hylo hack I reported on this past weekend. This was a cool and very clean hack that I think a lot of Arcade Stick Pro users welcomed with open arms, since it granted access to SNK's full Neo Geo library, including the recently released Samurai Shodown V Perfect. Well, let's take a look at a few tweaks that I've done since that time. Well, first things first, you'll notice I switched out the blue background for the red MVS look. And look, I said I didn't mind the blue, but that doesn't mean I don't like the red better. It's just more of an iconic look to me, and it's a straightforward and easy change. To make this swap, you just head into the ASPH folder, then Image subfolder. You have these PNG images here, and the cover PNG is what will load as your initial splash screen, and then Global BG will load as your background by default. You'll notice both of those are the blue theme, which are of course the defaults when you install this. The other image files in here are the red version and then the SVC Chaos artwork. All you need to do to swap to the red, or the SVC Chaos if you want, is to simply rename whatever you want to cover and global_BG. So in my case, I'm going to rename the current cover and global_BG to blue, just to hang on to them in case I want to swap back. Next, I'll rename cover.back to just cover, then global_BG back to simply global_BG. Very easy. All you're doing here is renaming files. When you boot the next time, you'll now have your red background or SVC Chaos background, whichever one you picked. The next thing is very similar. We need to update the BIOS menu since there were some issues with save states with the earlier release. This is a small download. I'll link it below. I am just going to extract it to the root folder of my USB here. I'm going to go ahead and delete the Mac folder and the original zip, then rename it to BIOS me no file extension. Then drag it into the ASPH folder and overwrite the original file, and that should do it. Save states should now be fixed. Someone also reported we have some missing games: Neo Bomberman, Neo Mr. Do, and Diggerman. Each of these is solved in a slightly different way, so let's start with Neo Bomberman first. This one is just missing the actual ROM file, so you'll need to use your resources. Google is your friend. Go out and find it and download it. The file name is neobom with an e.zip. You're going to download that and then just drop it here in your ROMs folder. Super easy, done. Next, let's take on Neo Mr. Do. This is kind of the opposite problem since the ROM file is actually there in the ROMs folder, but Hylo can't quite see it. Take note that the name of the file is neomrdo.zip, and then let's back out to the local folder, then dive into English, then open the games.ini file. The games.ini file is like a table of contents for your hack. It tells the menu what file to load when you click on those pretty artwork files. So Neo Mr. Do is just missing from here. The easiest thing we can do is scroll to the bottom of this list, highlight and copy the last entry, space, and then paste. Then we need to change the ID from 147 to 148. And then instead of telling the system to load Zupapa, which we copied, we change it to Neo Mr. Do. Take note that you don't add the .zip here, just the first part of the file name, no extension. Make sure you get it right, don't mess it up, and when you're finished, save this file. Now some of you will immediately recognize that this will place Neo Mr. Do at the end of your games lineup. If you're really OCD and you want it in with the ends, then you have to place the entry a little higher in the list, like between Neo Drift Out and Neo Pong. In doing so though, the ID number will become 86, and you will then have to renumber everything below it. Neo Pong becomes 87, Ninja Masters 88, and so on. Now I actually went through this exercise on Sunday because Aero Fighters 2 and 3 were in the S's because they were alphabetized by their alternate names, Sonic Wings 2 and 3. I reorganized my list and now have them at the beginning. If you don't care about this, I wouldn't worry about it. The games will obviously still load and play regardless of their order. Alright, for the final game we want to add, Diggerman, We have to use all of these steps and then one additional. First, don't be lazy here. Go out and Google and download the Diggerman ROM. Don't be asking me for it. The first site I came across had a version of the ROM that worked with this hack. Go ahead and download Diggerman from there. The name of the file must be diggerma.zip. While you're Googling Diggerman, let's click on images and grab some artwork from that very same site. And this image here will do. Okay, your Diggerman ROM gets dropped in the exact same place we just put Neo Bomberman, in your ROMs folder, so cut and paste it there. Then we need to go back to our local folder, then English, then open that Games Ini up one more time. Copy and paste that last entry, change the ID number, and then remember we need to tell the system what file to call, so type your ROM name here, Diggerma, and then save. Now we need to give Diggerman some artwork. I'm going to show you the way I did this. It's by no means the only way, but it's a simple way. Go into your ASPH folder, then into Games, and you need to create a folder called Diggerma. Same as our ROM and what we just entered into the Games Ini. Okay, done, easy. Next, open up a photo editor. I'm just going to use paint.net, which is totally free and I would recommend. I'm going to File and then Open, and then go into the ASPH folder, then the Games subfolder, and I'm going to open up 3 Count Bouts artwork. Then I'm going to open up the Diggerman artwork we just downloaded. I'm going to press Ctrl A to highlight Diggerman. I'm going to press Ctrl C to copy. I'm going to go back to 3 Count Bout and press Ctrl V to paste. When it asks, I'm going to keep my canvas size, and that's really important, don't mess that up. Now I'm going to press Ctrl Shift and just kind of move this around until I have something that looks good. Now this is the really important part. For God's sake, people, do not save this or you will overwrite your 3 Count Bout artwork. And no one wants to be surprised by having a shitty game load when you expected to have a different shitty game load. No, you want to go to File, Save As, then save this as cover.png in the Diggerma folder you created in Games. Done. You just added Diggerman to your Neo Geo Arcade Stick Pro. How does that feel? Now, be honest with me, you fucked it up, didn't you? You messed up your 3 Count Bout artwork. Well, you shouldn't listen to me. Do your own artwork files your own way. Oh, I also got this slick little low-profile USB to use exclusively for this hack, so I don't have to deal with the Fat Man anymore. I'd recommend it so far. It's just a little 32 gigabyte SanDisk that was $7 on Amazon. That's it for the updates though. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this cool little hack. Hopefully you didn't mess anything up today, and if you did, I take zero responsibility for any of this nonsense. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And stop playing those shitty Neo Geo games. No one even needs Diggerman in their life. Go play Mark of the Wolves or something more worthy of your time, people. Come on, jeez.